From Power. It is Tuesday, the 28th of May, 2024. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is news to 6 a.m. on News Power Digital. The staff at the Scarborough General Hospital have been cleared of allegations of negligence in the death of Nadia Shangi, 27, and her baby Zanaya, according to a preliminary investigation. In a statement issued yesterday, Monday, the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection of the Tobago Regional Health Authority stated that the findings of the investigation revealed the doctors, nurses, midwives, and other staff have categorically and undeniably did everything possible to save Nadia's life. Baby Zanaya and her mother died at the Scarborough General Hospital one day apart on May 15th and 16th, respectively. According to the statement, the staff of the TRHA observed all the appropriate clinical pathways in providing emergency medical care, noting in keeping quality management systems which governs the incidents of this nature. A meeting was held with Shangi's family together with her private doctor, who outlined the emergence afforded to her. The THRA said. Both the THRA and the Division of Health expressed the deepest condolences to the family and the friends, as well as those who mourn their passing. The Trinidad Tobago Police Service has busted an extortion racket in central Trinidad with the arrests of 3 people, including a security guard, last Friday. At midday on Friday, police launched an operation in Chaguanas following a report of an extortion attempt involving a man impersonating a police officer. The perpetrator demanded $600,000 from a businesswoman, instructing her to withdraw money from the Royal Bank on Chaguanas Main Road. The woman informed the authorities and the police team led by Senior Superintendent Simon and Superintendent Guyan, with field operations headed by Sergeant Babulal, monitored the situation and intercepted the suspects during the handover. 2 individuals were arrested: a 44-year-old man of Harmony Hall, San Fernando, a 40-year-old man, and a 33-year-old woman, both of Crown Trace Enterprise. During the arrest, the San Fernando man was found to be a security guard carrying a licensed firearm with 15 rounds of 9mm ammunition. All 3 suspects were taken into custody. They were scheduled for questioning this weekend. Charges were expected to be filed and suspects will appear in court later this week. Meantime, Orapooch East MP Dr. Rudal Munidal says too many business owners are being faced with extortion threats from gangs, and this was happening mainly in central Trinidad and along the east-west corridor. Dr. Munidal said, quote, "We have extortion by gang members asking businessmen in central and along the east-west corridor for as much as $30,000 per month for protection. And when they refuse to do this, their families are exposed to kidnapping, murder, and shots." Speaking on Sunday during the United National Congress weekly media briefing, he called on the THPS to establish a specialized unit to deal with extortion by gangs in the country. Social activist and justice activist and gender equality activist Roberta Clark is suggesting a risk management to be done before persons are granted protection orders in Trinidad and Tobago. She remains confident there are several benefits which can derive by this move. Clark made a proposal while speaking yesterday on Power 102 Digital's Hard Talk program. Meanwhile, President of the Law Association, Lynette C. Brand Sweet, says there are several lessons which can be learned from the case involving Samantha Stacy, who was shot in both legs and behind the head by her ex-boyfriend 6 years ago. Earlier this month, a justice reportedly held the rights that her mother and son to the protection of law and respect to private and family life were infringed by the inaction of the police and the judiciary. Isaac was killed in December 16, 2017, and left on the roadway in Carenage. The Government Assistance for Tuition Program, GATE, will be expanded to cover the full tuition cost of medical studies for students studying at the University of the West Indies campuses at Mona, Jamaica, Cayfield, Barbados, with effect from August 2024. The Education Ministry explains this measure aims to provide students with the opportunity to reach their highest potential and support the national workforce development. The budgetary allocation under the GATE program, which was established in 2004, currently values at 400 million TT per fiscal year. From 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. today, a national disaster preparedness exercise will be taking place. The move is being done by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management, the National Disaster Preparedness and Prevention Multi-Sectoral Committee. The exercise is part of the National Disaster Prevention and Preparedness Month activities, with principal locations used in the vicinity of Grand Bazaar, the Curup Interchange, and the Churchill-Roosevelt Highway, Santa Cruz, and Pinel. Commuters and road users should expect some exercises in these areas between today and 10 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday. In news of the region, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley is presented with the World Health Organization Award for Global Health. Director of the WHO, Tedros Ghebreyesus, this week presented Prime Minister Mia Mottley with the award. Mottley was presented with the award at the WHO headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland on Sunday to allow her to travel to Antigua and Barbuda for the UN 4th International Conference on Small Island Developing States, which began yesterday, Monday. And that is news to 6 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We'll have major news coming your way at 7 a.m. and brought to you with the compliments of Genesco Appliances Limited nationwide.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
May. There's a couple more days left. Saturday will be the first day of June. Good morning to you. Thank you so much. Of course, it's ours this morning. We just heard from Dr. Paul Richards. We'll hear from Richard Ragoobarsingh. We got Ruben. That's your 3 hours. We got Shane in the mix. My name is Steve Khan. Quickly, 27 degrees at Piaco International Airport and Crown Point in Tobago. Traffic-wise, let's see, going through Chase Village, Charlieville towards Interchange, Trin City towards UE. That's just volume. Just getting to Port of Spain is where you got your traffic this morning. Good morning to Pablo. What's happening? Muted.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, everyone.
Everybody. What's going on? What's going on?
A lot as usual.
A lot as usual. That is so true. That is so true. Let's say good morning going out to Ray. Yep. Good morning for you. Out in West Palm Beach, Florida. DJ Ray out in Delaware. Godzilla in Valencia. Isasha out in London. Oliver Man Warren. Marcia Rock out in Orlando, Florida. Wendy and James. Maria Cillier. Boy Badesi out in Davie. Carol Guevara, Gloria Gray, Rena Buru Jennings, Brent Hackshaw, Hector, Ian Lee out in Portsmouth, London. You've been there for a while. Michael Robinson in Yokohama, Japan. CJ, who is not in New York, but in the soils of TNT. Good morning to you. Shuin Ku, good morning. Slick Money Grip. Hope all is well. Wayne Ramsey, good morning. Good morning, Sankofa. David Nelson. Dan Raj, good morning to you. Let's see. Yeah, and that's what we got so far on WhatsApp. All right. Yeah. Radio.
Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday morning. Well, that's Sahara Destiny atmosphere, fam.
Yeah.
Feeling a little congested. So.
Oh, are you? Morning, Dave S.N. Singh, Joycelyn Dial Singh, Anthony Miguel, Oren Hernandez. Good morning to you. Send us messages here. Shura Paul. Good morning. Thank you so much. You too can send us a message via Facebook, YouTube, of course, on WhatsApp at 318-1021. Good morning to all those watching us on television, on Me TV, Flow Channel 111, Flow HD 109, Digicel 20, and Player 117, and all up the islands. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for watching us.
Good morning to the Caribbean, logged in. Appreciate you being here this morning. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago in all its glory.
In all its glory.
The good, the great, the bad, and the ugly.
The good, the great.
We have a lot of good, we have a lot of great, but we have a lot of bad and ugly too. So, yeah. The accident that Wendell referenced yesterday in Chaguaramas all unfortunately resulted in the deaths of 2 people,
Yeah.
a male and a female, and they apparently drowned when the car drove off the road into the sea.
Yeah. By O2 Park. And when it drove off the road, it went upside down in the water. So,
Very odd occurrence. But according to reports, the driver was driving erratically before it went into the sea.
and according to reports, he was overtaking a line of cars before that happened. You see that so many times, right? Because if you're coming out of Chaguaramas and you have traffic, there's always the idiot that likes to overtake a line of cars. And I've seen it so many times where a police car is coming up in the opposite direction and make them reverse all the way back. Patience, please. Patience.
But Chaguaramas is a lot of bends. If you're overtaking a line of cars, you're going to be overtaking around the bend.
Yeah.
Coming out of Chaguaramas, it hardly have any straight piece of road for any length of time.
No, just
There are so many bends and turns that coming out of Chaguaramas that if you're overtaking lines of traffic, you are going to put other people and yourself in danger. I don't know. Condolences to their families. Sometimes I wonder. It'll be interesting to find out if there was any alcohol in the driver's system.
That's if they check.
Well, they'll perform an autopsy.
Yeah.
Another good bit of work by the TNT Police Service resulted in the busting of an extortion racket in central Trinidad and the arrest of 3 people, including a security guard, on Friday. Police launched an operation in Chaguaramas, a report of an extortion attempt involving a man impersonating a police officer. They demanded $600,000 from a businesswoman, instructing her to withdraw money from Royal Bank. And Chaguaramas made her. Sorry, excuse me. I'm trying to close the mic before I sneeze. Sorry. That's why I have this Sahara. This is stressing me out.
I got soaked.
Yeah. Apologies for that sneeze, everyone. Yeah. And now my head is fully compressed. $600 was being demanded from the woman.
600,000, yes.
$600,000 from Royal Bank in Chaguaramas. The woman informed the authorities, and the team led by Senior Soup Simon, Superintendent Gian O'Gayan, and others intercepted the suspects during the handover. The 3 who were arrested included a 44-year-old man of Harmony, San Fernando, a 40-year-old man, and a 33-year-old woman, both from Crown Trace Enterprise. The San Fernando man was a security guard carrying a licensed firearm with 15 rounds of 9mm ammunition.
And all reports indicate that that firearm was it's owned by the security company.
Yeah, one of my biggest uses with this, and I know there's a bill awaiting, which may have started debate already here, and it's still waiting to be complete. Awaiting completion. Is a lot of these security companies don't vet the people at all. You're taking anybody up the street, and they're going to uniform and hand them a gun.
No background check.
A lot of these security companies are so under the radar when it comes to proper regulation, because anybody could be a security guard these days. And the security guard gets, it's not FULs, it's FUCL or something like that.
Yeah, precepts.
They get a different kind of license, which enables them to pass it on to their employees, some of the employees, hopefully ones who've been trained to use firearms and who have passed a certain benchmark, but clearly it's not happening. Because if this one was a security guard, was precepted and involved in an extortion ring, some due diligence was not taking place. And you're almost absolutely sure that this is not the only security guard in the country involved in crime.
No, of course not.
I am sure about that. Because it's so, all you have to do is work in a bit, because FUEC, thank you, Sherwin Kerr. FUEC, right? Firearm Users Employees Certificate, I think it's if I'm not mistaken. And it is so easy because the security guard pay sometimes is so low that that they don't do any proper vetting. It's on the lower end of the what you call it, the minimum wage. Sometimes the persons are even, you see security guards in uniform who have accents not akin to Trinbagonian accents. I know of cases where persons who are not even documented migrants are made security guards because they want to fly under the radar. And these security companies are precepting them. You understand? So, and I know that's the aim of the bill, to bring the security companies under particular legislative regime. But I don't know, that is very, very disturbing. Right? Very, very disturbing. And then, in addition to the security guard, one of us posing as a police officer. So I'm wondering if posing as a police officer means have on a police uniform too. And I don't know. Maybe he just said he was a police officer.
But there's so many people that are being extorted. They call it tax.
Well,
throughout Trinidad and Tobago.
Repuch East MP Dr. Ragoobarsingh Moina says he's calling on the TTPS to establish a specialized unit to deal with extortion by gangs. I don't think it's a bad call, to be very honest, because according to Dr. Moina, he says they're extortion by gang members. Well, if they are established gang members and they've been identified as gang members, you could get them under the anti-gang law. You should be able to get them under the anti-gang law because they're more than one person conducting criminal enterprise. So, I don't know. They say that Dr. Munila says they operate primarily in central Trinidad and along the east-west corridor. Well, we saw the one in El Dorado the other day where they kidnapped Anisha Hussein Singh and asked for a ransom along the east-west corridor in central Trinidad. And in some cases, according to Dr. Munila, asking for as much as $30,000 a month for protection. And that is not something that anybody is surprised at hearing. Nobody is surprised at hearing that. That happened in a while now. Once they feel your business making money, they're boarding you and they're asking for what they call protection task. You need protection, eh? Because supply the protection, because you don't want anything to happen to you and your family. And at that point, in some cases, people become so petrified. Or they arrange 2-3 robberies in a place to show that you need protection in quotation marks, air quotation. You understand? And some people succumb to it because, what choice you have? Well, this woman did the right thing and reported it to the police, obviously, and they operated a sting and caught the alleged perpetrators. But to see, let's open the lines. I forget. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah,
we forgot.
And also the young man, what's his name again? Who
yeah, I agree. I don't know if there's an extortion unit in the police service, but if there is not, I agree with Dr. Munila's call because I think it's pervasive enough that some sort of specialized unit be focused on, and maybe there is, I don't know, to deal with these extortion rackets in the country. 222 talk. We're opening the lines. We forgot yesterday. We apologize. Anything hot? When the we stop plenty.
Yeah, there was somebody sent me regarding that from the Commissioner of Police of
222 talk 222-8255.
Find it at this time.
If you're calling from North America, you get a toll-free line 866-525-1099. And you can call right now to add your voice to the conversation.
Yeah. David Wales,
if anyone can tell me if they know about an extortion unit of the TTPS. I've never heard of one, but I certainly endorse the call by Dr. Moina because I know this has been a long-standing problem, and based on what we're hearing, it may be on the increase again. So I don't think it's a bad call at all, to be very honest.
Yeah, we have some calls coming through. Good morning.
Hey, morning, Steve, morning,
Morning.
Paul,
Good morning.
morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension, the wider region. Paul, shouldn't this explosion thing be handled by is it the sort that operation by the police, that special operation,
I'm not sure.
and should they not be handling things like that?
I'm not sure. Maybe you're right.
Because believe me, it is frightening. It is very frightening. As a businessman. And the thing is, people look at your business. For example, I recently did some remodeling in my business, but the thing is, I took a loan to remodel my business.
But you shouldn't have to explain it.
Figure. What's that?
You shouldn't have to explain the success of a business.
Well, the thing
You
about
shouldn't have to explain, well, I'm not really making money. If you working hard and you're making money, that's your right.
it's fearful. It's very fearful.
I'm quite sure that you worry every day about the impact of crime.
Yeah.
Would you agree with an extortion unit in the TTPS?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. But I will still say that the special operation unit should be handling it, not a separate body. Yeah. About the gentleman.
I saw Inspector.
All right, thank you.
Inspector Michelle Lewis on TTT yesterday interview talking about extortion.
Yes, thank you.
It's too long to edit now. Maybe we can get her on, hopefully on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. You're clearly not paying attention.
Exactly. I'm looking for Michelle's number.
Ask Wendell.
I have it. That's all it. Yeah. All right. So 222-8255, toll free. 866-525-1099. You can give us a call.
Well, Marcia Rock, we are on YouTube. I don't know why you're not getting us, but we are presently on YouTube. So I don't know what's happening with your own system. We are on YouTube now, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. We're actually on 3 Facebook pages, YouTube and LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And
on
also
television
YouTube,
too.
And the Power 102 digital app.
And the website.
Search for Power 102 digital on YouTube, Marcia Rock. Yeah, 222-TALK, 222-8255. We're opening the phone lines to talk about this extortion thing, which is quite frightening. So good work on good job TTPS again. For busting that extortion ring. Well, one extortion ring, because I doubt there is only one. You understand?
But it's not only businesses, it's individual families that they go in and say, hey, protection money.
Really?
Yeah. I'll give you a story when you're coming.
Why don't you share the story now?
Yeah.
So what's the point of bringing it up?
I'll tell you on the side.
Anyway.
Sidebar.
So the leader of the opposition, the Express is carrying an article this morning that says that the leader of the opposition, Mrs. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, tells police, if criminals point a gun at you, shoot at you, return fire with full force. Defend yourselves. Do not be hesitant. Being hesitant can cost you your life. She added that she is in full support of police officers standing their ground against violent criminals and warn citizens, if you point a gun or attack a police officer to endanger his or her life, the police have the right to defend themselves with lethal force. I have absolutely no problem with that statement.
No, I don't. They did formally charge the 23-year-old guy who went to the bar and shot the police officer. What's his name again? Myers. They did charge him yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. For murder and firearm and
Yeah, I don't know. Never a dull moment.
yeah. At 23 years of age. That's it. Your life is not ruined.
Well,
You make your bed, you lie in it.
you saying so. A lot of them don't think their life ruined, you know.
That's true.
You understand?
That's
You,
true.
you, from where we sit, we think his life is over, but for some of them, they ain't already business, you know. They ain't already business. At all, they will go in jail and sit down and take your
Lying.
money and eat 3 square meal if they stay in jail, you know. So I don't
Nobody
know.
has some individuals that when they come out, they do a crime just to go back in to get 3 square meals, you know. And that's the only life that they know inside of there with their friends.
And then you're right. I don't know that all of them think that the life over, you know. Some of them just that's part of the life course. And they have friends who in jail and friends who in crime and did already business. See, the phone lines are open, you know. So sometimes we open the phone lines and nobody ain't calling. So we'll be both friends next time.
Yeah. 222-8255, toll free North Americans, 866-525-1099. Got some message. DW, good morning. Thank you so much. From the wife and yourself. Alrighty. Thank you so much. Sankofa, good morning. Somebody is telling me here there was a murder in Pity Valley last evening after 10 o'clock in Hamilton Lane.
Let me tell you.
Where do I have a murder, boy?
I am. I think someone mentioned that the extortion issue is dealt with the organized crime and intelligence unit of the TTPS. And I think that maybe sounds like it makes sense to me. I got a report yesterday. Sometimes I get these reports, you know, the pink phone, you know, how does it operate? Right? Of a reporting of crime, reporting period Sunday, 26th May to 6 a.m. Monday, 27th May. And let me tell you, police are real work in this country, you know.
If they have real work.
Robbery with violence. I don't want to call the victims' names, right? Henry and Park Street, Port of Spain. Lastly, from person 945, Nelson Street and Independence Square. Lastly, motor vehicle, Woodbrook Division. Carnage. Murder. The accident in 8:20 p.m. in Chagaramas.
Carnage.
That's the car that went off the road. Barataria Police District. Lastly, wounding with intent, Couva. Missing person, Shagonas. Lastly, motor vehicle, Maloney. I don't know if I should be reading this anyway. Anyway, it came in the pink phone. Damaging fixture with intent to steal. Lastly, motor vehicle, Tunapuna. House break-in, Tunapuna. Homicide, St. Joseph. Store breaking with lastly, Grandi. Store breaking with lastly, Grandi again. Suspected drowning, Matura. Robbery with violence, Santa Flora. Firearm and ammunition found and seized, Santa Flora. Possession of narcotics, Siparia. Schoolhouse breaking and lastly, Chevron, that's Tobago. Burglary, Crown Point. That is one day.
That's one day.
That between Sunday and Monday.
Wow.
That's what was reported. Whew. 6 on Sunday, 6 a.m. Sunday to 6 a.m. Monday.
Wow.
One day. Un dia.
Yeah. And then there was another morning, Rich.
Hi, morning, guys.
Morning. And then there's another video of a truck and fellas just throwing out debris onto the side of the road. I don't know. I probably got like a million times yesterday.
Yeah, very well known.
712.
What do you say, real work? That's hard to say.
Yeah, that might real work to do. Not work, you know. Work.
Richard, are you aware of any specific unit presently in the police service that deals with extortion?
Me specifically, no, I don't.
Extortion would fall under organized crime, wouldn't it?
I would think so. I
would
don't know.
imagine so. There's an organized crime and narcotics unit, which I think that would be an accurate assessment that the organized crime and intelligence unit, OCIU, would deal with extortion.
You would think it would come under there now. In light of the extortion claims that people are making in certain areas, because you have that obviously being a feature of criminality now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they have since formed a specific unit to deal with it.
But Dr. Munal is calling for that.
Who's calling for that? Sorry?
Dr. Rudal Munilal.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I don't know if they have, but obviously they would have dedicated, I assume they have dedicated a certain amount of resources to dealing with that particular problem.
Well, the organized crime and intelligence unit has been mandated to dismantle, disrupt, suppress, and prosecute members of organized criminal groups, which have over time arranged themselves into organized criminal networks. Well, if you are extorting money from people and kidnapping and trying to get extortion money, that would fall under organized crime. It's more than one person committing a crime.
Yeah,
that to me would also fall under a gang regime, because it's more than two people coming together for the commission of crimes. Not so?
Yeah.
But if they identify themselves as a group, I guess they'd fall under gang. But there are several units presently in the TTPS that may be able to deal with that because of their remit, their stated remit. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see how it goes. Maybe that could be our question this morning.
All right. We do have a call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, buenos días, mi amor.
Buenos días, ¿cómo estás?
Richard.
Yes, good morning.
Listen to me. We all realize that this rise in crime, at least I feel so, I could be wrong. But you see, since after COVID, a lot of the young boys, I don't know for the girls, but I know because I heard of two that didn't go back to school. And they were like in Form 3, Form 4. They ain't even reached Form 5 yet. After they get that sweetness at home for mostly 2 years or how long, the one I know for sure told his father, they see me, I ain't going back to school. As a guy who used to help me all the time around the yard. And sometimes he said, let me run by the school and get my lessons from my son. Carry you back to work, and you're trying and fighting up. And then your son feel he's a big man. Well, the linemen are wrong now. And then you decide you're going back to school.
May I add something, Zina?
Pardon me? Yes.
If these young people were productively engaged by the education system and their issues identified, they'd be less likely to want to drop out of school. If you're struggling in school and this education system has not identified why you're struggling, they're not going to stay. And that is one of the issues I have with the education system. And so many people are falling, as much as 27 to 30% are falling below basic 30%. And when you don't remediate, and yes, and the parents have a role to play, but the system is the universal intervention. Do not identify and help them through these rough patches. They are more likely to end up in the hands of gangs or in deviant behavior, because they're not staying in no system that tell them they're failing all the time.
I find it, like I call it, this is the thieving and robbing and and then with the perpetration of the drugs and the guns, it gets worse. But my feeling is that before that period, I didn't think it was that bad. I mean,
Yeah, it was bad enough before COVID. COVID must be exacerbated, but it was bad before COVID.
It was bad before, but I'm saying like it got worse because when you drop out of school and your parents can't talk to you, a lot of them, I don't know if the ministry ever did a survey with the schools to see how many students.
Zena, I brought it up in Parliament on more than one occasion, the level of school dropouts, because according to the law, I think you only have to stay in school. Is it 14 or 16? I think it's either 14 or 16. And if you're in train during that, there's no mandatory requirement for you to stay in secondary school, you know. And some drop out before that and are not traced.
Yeah, boy. Something serious have to take place.
I saw on the Eastern Main Road in St. Augustine last week, a woman and a boy. He looked no older than 12 or 13. And during school time, he was selling with his mother at the side of the road.
Yes.
Who tracking him? You understand?
And that happens especially like you see the tourist season when you see the tourists come and they go to the Maracas Bay, and so you see a lot of children. I asked a few of them. I say, oh, they don't have school. Why you here selling? Well, it's tourist season. And my mother say I had to come and sell to make a little change. So you see sometimes the parents too, oh God, parenting. They might have to start to establish schools for parenting just now. Because I don't know what is happening. They have to help. People have to help themselves. You can't have your children doing that, going astray, and
But
then you want to come.
Can I ask you something, Zena?
That's no crime, pardon me.
When people say the word parents, very often people say the word parents as if it's this homogeneous group of equally minded people. And it is not. It is not.
Right.
Parent is a wide and diverse encapsulation of several people who procreated. Some are responsible and some are not.
Let me tell you something. I could remember.
Not because you make a child irresponsible, eh?
Well, I know that because you have a lot of children making children.
Adults making children and still irresponsible. Don't blame it on young youth alone. Some of them old and making children that is still irresponsible.
All right.
True.
Let me just make this last statement. I could remember when Gladiator was on the station, and there was a group came here on a business tour, and they were from Taiwan. And I could remember Gladiator asking about how so many things you see made in Taiwan, made in Taiwan. Well, you know what one of the men said? From the time you enter school, they put it into the children's head that you must learn whatever, whether it's academically or otherwise. You have to learn something. You must learn during your school years. That they put it into their heads. You have to earn your keep. You have to be, what you call it? The word's slipping me now. But you have to be something and do something in society. You can't just
You have to be a productive member of the society.
Yeah.
Right. So that they rub it into you from the time you enter kindergarten right up till you're ready to leave whatever school you're going to. You know that you have to be productive. So I don't know.
And people get
All right.
upset when I say the
Thank you.
one socializing agent
Thank
we
you.
have that all of us have to go through. One, between 5 and 14 is the education system. One, we got to go through nothing else but that. So that is the one conduit through which we can infuse some sort of universal, some sort of value system in people in this country. Apart from that, it ain't none, because parents are diverse, parents come from different backgrounds, parents have different moral and ethical values. The one that we could infuse what we want as a citizen, as a country, is the education system. It ain't no other mandatory conduit. None. And if we don't use that opportunity to identify the issues that they face in the family, because a lot of these young people coming out of extremely dysfunctional families, who in some cases encouraging them in dysfunctional behavior and encouraging them in crime, Not people that say, well, parenting means different things to different people. Parenting to some parents mean go out and get it no matter how you get it, As a plural, when you say parents, as if it's this homogeneous group and everybody have the same mindset, that is not so. Some parents feel once I put food in your mouth and give you some place to sleep, that is my total responsibility to you, Or some procreators, I should say, because all they do is procreate. They feel they have no other responsibility. And in some cases, they procreate and they drop everybody by their parents to take care of them, and them go on the way and Lyman party. Okay? And drink and smoke. So don't think the word parent covers everybody the same way. Parent in people's mind mean, well, somebody who's responsible and is going to take their responsibility seriously to raise this human being in the way that the society needs it to be raised and infuse the kind of value society needs. That is not everybody's mindset at all. There's some parents, the gun in front of them, in front of the TV with the children who 3 and 4 years old, and they cleaning the illegal gun in front of the children, and they go out and do the work and come back and training the children. And that is their mindset of parenting. So don't feel parenting is no universal approach in any country, not only Trinidad and Tobago. End of rant.
I was waiting for it to finish.
Sorry.
I wasn't sure. You always have these dysfunctional families in any society, and
all families have some level of dysfunction.
And all families do have some level, but those severely dysfunctional families that you're talking about there, and how can the school system, because the school system is best positioned to rebalance that. And so, because you can't track down the way you track down dysfunctional families is seeing evidence of it in the classroom. And that's where the interventions have to take place, because those very dysfunctional families come back to haunt us at a later date via the repercussions of what these young people that come out of these families may be engaging in.
That's exactly what I just said. It's the one who is socializing agency that we could identify, well, something not going right here.
Is it school?
Is it the school?
Yeah.
From the time they go in early childhood, in some instances, you see instances, symptoms of abuse in early childhood sometimes, you understand? And particularly primary and secondary school, the one socializing agent we have to go between, in our country, I'm talking about, between 5 and 14 is school. That's the one place you can pick it up and make some attempt at remediation. After that, good luck. And that's why the education system is so important.
Yeah.
And it's not only, when we think education, sometimes we think physics and chemistry and maths and English. Education holistically means life values. How to become a productive citizen, how to have empathy, how to resist overtures at getting into crime, you understand? Don't even talk about, you can't mention sex education in Trinidad and Tobago. Everybody get crazy.
Yeah.
You know that? Something as basic as that. We still having the discussion about sex education in school. Yeah. Although most schools put it as family life education, and they're afraid to say sex because it's a big problem.
You're very right on that one.
So if we had 2024 and still worried about, oh my God, sex education in schools, you're encouraging them to have sex, which is a ridiculous prospect. Age-appropriate sex education. All right, you have papers, Ragoobarsingh?
No, sorry, I don't have today.
What are you doing today? But you pass through town and you pick up the papers. Where's your real scene?
Which is my word, just so I don't have to answer you.
Tuesday, 28th of May. Let's start with the Express this morning. For today, Tuesday, the 20th of May. Attack with full force. A picture of Mrs. Pasabi Sessa, who the star team for the United National Congress internal elections launched officially last night. A packed hall.
I can do the Guardian. What you doing now?
Mrs. Pasabi Sessa said attack with full force. She spoke to police officers. If criminals point a gun at you, shoot at you, attack them with full force. Right? Regional corporations delinquent in submitting financial statements. No surprise there. Part of the Auditor General's report, and it continues. 3 held in $0.6 million racket. Heroes, Gavin Hera, gang killings in Tobago troubling. Urpuch East MP Dr. Rudal Munila says too many business owners were being faced with extortion threats from gangs, and it was happening mainly in central Trinidad and along the east-west corridors. He said gangs want as much as $30,000 a month for so-called protection money. In Tobago, no negligence in death of baby and mother, and a couple killed in crash into the sea on Sunday night. United Patriots want a healthy UNC. So those are trending stories in the Express. You can go ahead, sir.
All right, the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for today. And of course, I always like to give the date. So today is Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. And the main headline of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, let's put on my glasses so I don't make any mistakes. Patriotic Alliance. Well, it's a question. Patriotic Alliance? Analysts react to stepped-up political activity, warn Parish could jump ship and form alliance with McKellar, and urge Kamala not to underestimate opponents. And there is a picture of course, of Rushton Parry, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, and McKellar Pandey.
We'll have McKellar Pandey on it after 7 o'clock, so we could ask her.
Yeah, so we could ask her, is there a connection, I guess. George Street man charged with cops' murder. That's also on the front page. TRHA rules out negligence and death of mom and baby. Couple drowns as car crashes into sea. And that's it for the front of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian today. Let me go to the back page. The back page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. Warm up worries. Australia facing player shortage. And well, that's basically all you need to know. So that's the front and the back of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian this morning.
Let's move to the Newsday now. Auditor General notes $52 million spent on unused DPP office. The whole bacchanal by itself. Due calls for THA Health Secretary to resign. He says no faith in faith. Families silent after 2 die in Chaguaramas accident. Shell, BP, EOG combined for 6 shallow water exploration bids. Penal murder accused Forte sent for psychiatric evaluation. Quarrel may have sparked Marabella firebombing. Auditor General examines Evaluation Division spending. The Attorney General substantive is back on soil. So, the Attorney General Reginald Lamour is back. Report: police mishandled $49 million in seized funds. Police doubles vendor kidnapping case is not closed. Municipal corporations fail to account for $23 million. Chaguaramas Chamber address taxes, crime, investment in media review. And Child Affairs Division tackles mental health in children. So those are some trending stories in your Guardian, Express, and Newsday for today, Tuesday, the 20th of May, 2024.
Did you mention that story with regard to the expansion of GATE?
I mentioned it in the news for medical students in Barbados, Keyfield, and Jamaica's Mona campus.
Yeah.
Mentioned it in the news. So, which of the 2 stories would you like to focus on for questions? Would you like to focus on a question? Do you think Makila Pandey's Patriotic Front, or do you think Rushton Parry's, what's the name of the group?
Their slate?
The slate, sorry.
There's something with patriotic in it.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact name. I know the word patriotic is in it.
Come, do something now, find it now. Let's read the story.
Yeah, looking it up. Okay. Patriotic Front leader Michaela Pandey says she has exhausted all attempts for an audience with UNC leader Prasad Bissessa. Joint forces.
All right. You guys come up with that.
I'm not seeing it.
Let's get the results of our morning poll.
United Patriots.
United Patriots. That's it.
All right. So our morning poll yesterday. Do you think Michaela Pandey's Patriotic Front will win any seats in the general elections come 2025? That was our poll yesterday. Give you the results right after this.
Shop mega mattress deal for mom at Furniture Plus. Get queen mattresses starting from just $699, plus up to 25% discount on bedding accessories. Hurry in today for these mega deals. Check the press and social media for details.
Whether wet or dry season, hazards can strike without warning, causing you or your family quickly evacuate. You may not have to grab the essentials. Be sure to have your go bag in accessible kitchens. Get the top 7 categories that should be included and tailored to your family's needs. 1. Non-perishable food items, water, utensils. 2. Food and extra medication. 3. Personalized items. 4. Clothing and comfortable to wear. 5. Documents such as bills and certificates. 6. Fashion models. 7. Tools and equipment. For more information on how to be ready, visit odpm.gov.tt. A message from the ODPM.
Of course, coming up at 7 o'clock, we have our major news, all powered by Genesco Appliances. Experience innovation and inverter technology refrigerators designed to slash your electricity bills at Genesco Appliances Limited. Discover the versatility of a dual-function chest freezer, switchable between refrigeration or freezer mode, available in 5 and 7 cubic feet. Don't miss their unbeatable offer on the 13 kg twin tub washers, and for the aspiring chef, the 30-inch 5-burner gas stove with a built-in rotisserie oven awaits. These specials won't last, so check out Genesco Appliances on Facebook, Instagram, or give them a call at 351-7777. Genesco Appliances are available nationwide. All right, of course, I don't know what happened here. Hopefully, okay. All right, getting the results. Do you think Michaela Pandey's Patriotic Front will win any seats in the 2025 general elections? It was pretty close. 54%, 5-4 said yes.
So my suggested question this morning.
But when you all are hearing some of the sound getting garbled sometimes?
Yes, me on my end too. I think
it's on my end too.
Steve internet issues. So my suggested question this morning is, do you think Rushton Parry's United Patriots will work with Michaela Pandey's Patriotic Front for a general election in 2025 if they are unsuccessful in the UNC's internal elections? It's a little long, but would you like me to repeat it?
Yeah, could you repeat it, please? Yeah.
Do you think Rushton Parry's United Patriots will work with Michaela Pandey's Patriotic Front for a general election 2025 if they are unsuccessful in the UNC's internal elections?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know if it's the best phrasing of it, but yeah.
You can fix it if you want.
Yeah. And maybe say something like, do you think there is a plan or there's an intent to make it more, that it's an intent or plan that if it is that they are unsuccessful, do you think there is a plan that if they're unsuccessful, that they plan to join with the Patriotic Front?
All right, so 222-8255, toll free North Americans, 866-525-1099.
They open up your eyes so big. Watch, you're tooting something now. So do you think Rushton Paris United Patriots plans to work with Michaela Pandey's Patriotic Front for general election 2025 if they are unsuccessful in the UNC's internal elections? Yeah, that covers it. It's a little wordy, but yeah. So that's our poll, but you're seeing it right in front of you.
Yeah.
Do you think Rushton Paris United Patriots plan to work with Michaela Pandey's Patriotic Front for general elections 2025 if they are unsuccessful in the UNC's internal election? In other words, if they're not successful in the UNC internal elections, you think they're trying to jump ship and go with the Patriotic Front. So, do you think that's what the plan is? Yes or no? Our poll,
All right.
Our poll is
So,
now open.
Al says yes. Dre says yes.
They have to be a political party to join any party. They could resign from the UNC and go. So.
Jaron Joseph says yes. John Cato, yes. Josie Richardson, yes. DL, yes. Andre Renu, yes. Keith Busessa, no. Julia S. Batiste, yes. What says you, caller?
No, I don't think so.
All righty, thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good morning.
I discover you all sometime, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I decided I'm going to listen to you all. I'm not going to say much now. Good morning to Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning to Richard.
Good morning.
Loving a walk, boy. It have you really, really walking. You need to get up and take a good cool shower because they love have you looking like you're tired. You're loving too much, Richard, but I'm happy. Anyhow, I want to say for the question, yes, I think he might.
All right.
Because everybody is really looking for position. This is what I see in the political field. I don't want to say too much. Everybody's looking to be head of everything. And this is where we cannot come together for this country to be better.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for joining our audience.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Ruth Tampa, Florida. My answer is yes.
You real traveling. All right. Thank you.
Cities.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning again. I'm leaning to yes.
All right. Thank you. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Whether or not they are successful, they will work with his family.
Say yes.
The answer is yes.
That's a yes.
All right. Thank you.
That is yes.
Ron M says yes. Empress C Queen. All right. Okay. Adrian Cotto says no. Black Pearl says yes. Morning, Black Pearl.
Fall down there.
That's my phone.
That's okay. I thought it was Richard falling down.
I did standing up, but so it's slid down.
Say the word.
Not
All right,
me.
let's see. Helen Prescott says yes. Michael Robinson says yes. Okay.
Dr. Munira is already telling Rushton Parade to pack up. His licks is guaranteed.
Anyway, our poll this morning. Do you think Rushton Paris United Patriots plans to work with Michaela Pandey's Patriotic Front for general elections 25, which is next year? If they are unsuccessful in the UNC's internal elections. That's our poll this morning.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I would say yes, because the writing is on the wall for them. They have no other choice.
All right. Thank you. Final call. Good morning.
Makes a lot of sense, yes.
All right. Thank you, Arima. Ian Lee out in London says Yes. All right, let's get into our 7 o'clock major news, all powered by Genesco Appliances.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
The staff of the Scarborough General Hospital has been cleared of allegations of negligence in the death of a young woman and her baby. Police bust extortion ring in central Trinidad. Oropouche East MP Dr. Rudal Munilal says too many business owners are being faced with extortion threats from gangs. And man charged with the murder of police constable Dale Myers to appear in court today. Details in a moment.
Of course, your 7 o'clock major news being brought to you courtesy Genesco Appliances. Experience innovation and inverted technologies refrigerators designed to slash your electricity bills at Genesco Appliances Limited. Discover the versatility for dual function chest freezer switchable between refrigeration or freezer mode, available in 5 and 7 cubic feet. Don't miss their unbeatable offer on the 13 kg twin tub washers, and for the aspiring chef, a 30-inch 5-burner gas stove with a built-in rotisserie oven. These specials won't last. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram or call 351-7777. Genesco Appliances are available nationwide.
This is news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Centel Bob. Good morning. Doctors, nurses, midwives, and other staff involved did everything possible to save Nadia Shanghai's life. The staff of the Tobago Regional Health Authority observed all the appropriate clinical pathways in providing emergency care. These are the findings that came out of the preliminary investigation done into the deaths of Nadia Shanghai and baby Zanaya. 27-year-old Nadia was buried on Saturday. Baby Zanaya and her mother died at the Scarborough General Hospital 1 day apart on May 15th and May 16th, respectively. The Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection and the Tobago Regional Health Authority conducted the investigation. It was revealed as part of the quality management system in place at the TRHA. Following an incident of this nature, a meeting was held with the family together with the private sector. Both the division and the TRHA and Shanghai said Shanghai was not just a daughter, a sister, a cousin, and a friend. She was a member of the TRHA family as a clerical assistant at the Speyside Health Center. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has busted an extortion racket in central Trinidad with the arrests of 3 people, including a security guard, last Friday. At midday on Friday, police launched an operation in Chaguanas following a report of an extortion attempt involving a man impersonating a police officer. The perpetrators demanded $600,000 from a businesswoman, instructing her to withdraw the money from Royal Bank of the Chaguanas Main Road. The woman informed the authorities, and a police team led by Senior Superintendent Simon and Superintendent Guyan, with field operations headed by Sergeant Babulal, monitored the situation and intercepted the suspects during the handover. 3 individuals were arrested: a 44-year-old man of Harmony Hall, San Fernando, a 40-year-old man, and a 33-year-old woman, both from Crown Trace Enterprise. During the arrest, the San Fernando man was found to be a security guard carrying a licensed firearm with 15 rounds of 9mm ammunition. All 3 suspects were taken into custody and were scheduled for questioning at the weekend. Charges are expected to be filed, and the suspects will appear in court this week. Oropouche East MP Dr. Rudal Munilal says too many business owners are being faced with extortion threats from gangs, and this was happening mainly in central Trinidad and along the east-west corridor. Dr. Munilal said, quote, "We have extortion by gang members asking businessmen in central and along the east-west corridor for as much as $30,000 per month for protection. And when they refuse to do so, their families are exposed to kidnapping, murder, and shot," end quote. Speaking on Sunday during the United National Congress weekly media briefing, he called on the TTPS to establish a specialized unit to deal with extortion by gangs. Activist for social justice and gender equality Roberta Clark is suggesting a risk assessment be done before persons are granted protection orders in Trinidad and Tobago. She remains confident there are several benefits which can be derived from this move. Clark made the proposal while being interviewed on the Hard Talk program yesterday. She said this process gives the authorities a better gauge to properly look into each situation which is reported to the authorities relating to domestic violence and to take appropriate action. Ms. Clark revealed on average about 9,000 applications are made to the police for protection orders to be granted each year locally. She also explained the role and importance of the risk assessment and why it's relevant in today's society.
When you're granted protection, what is the kind of protection order you're going to need to grant that is very specific to the case you have before you? Is this person one of those people, one of those perpetrators who will get so enraged by a protection order that they will perpetrate further and more violent violence? The risk assessment allows you to have a sense of the frame of mind of the perpetrator, and so therefore that you can make a decision about what is to be done.
Clark also commented on a stance which was taken by the Port of Spain-based Caribbean Court of Justice relating to situations of this nature and the significance of it.
There's a case from the Caribbean Court of Justice, which is the final appellate court for Barbados and 4 or 5 other jurisdictions in the Caribbean. And it's a case from last year where the court also says that the courts the judicial gaze must be on the victim. It's the case of Samantha Isaacs. It seems that the judicial officer was thinking that the application for protection order was a tactic to get to maintenance. Now, by the way, I don't know that you should have to have a tactic to get child maintenance, right?
You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. A 23-year-old Port of Spain man appeared virtually before a master of the High Court yesterday, charged with the murder of Police Constable Dale Myers and several firearm offenses stemming out of an incident that occurred on May 13, 2024. Ishmael Clark, an unemployed man of George Street, Port of Spain, appeared virtually at the High Court before Master Shibiki Casabon, charged with murder, possession of a firearm, and possession of ammunition. The sufficiency hearing date has been set for February 28, 2025. PC Myers and 2 companions were at a Chaguanas establishment when a male gunman entered and attempted to commit a robbery. During the incident, there was an exchange of gunfire and PC Myers was fatally wounded while the suspect fled the scene. Officers of the Homicide Bureau of Investigations, Region 1, subsequently arrested a male suspect at the Port of Spain General Hospital where he was being treated for a gunshot wound. Subsequently, a thorough investigation was conducted by HBI Region 3, following which consultations were held with the Acting Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Sabrina Dugdeen Jaglal, on May 23rd this year, and advised that the subject be charged with the offenses. Ishmael Clark was charged by Sergeant Bridgemore of HBI Region 3 on Friday, May 24th. Finally, as weather news for the period today till midnight, Trinidad and Tobago, sunny, hazy and breezy conditions are expected despite the medium chance of a few showers. Tonight would be partly cloudy and hazy with occasional showers occurring. Please note that a moderate concentration of Saharan dust is present in the atmosphere, and persons who are sensitive to this change in air quality are being advised to take the necessary precautions. You can expect a temperature high of 34 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 33 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. Currently, it is 29 degrees Celsius at both localities. Recapping your headlines to 7 o'clock, the staff of the Scarborough General Hospital has been cleared of allegations of negligence in the death of a young woman and her baby. Police bust extortion ring in central Trinidad. Oropouche East MP Dr. Rudal Munilal says too many business owners are being faced with extortion threats from gangs, and a man charged with the murder of Police Constable Dale Myers appears in court. I'm Afril Sindhil-Bab. That was News 2, 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. Look out for more news in detail at 12 noon today and an update at 7 o'clock this morning. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Of course, your 7 a.m. newscast was brought to you courtesy Genesco Appliances. Experience innovation and inverted technology refrigerators designed to slash your electricity bills at Genesco Appliances Limited. Discover the versatility of a dual-function chest freezer, switchable between refrigeration or freezer mode. It's available in 5 and 7 cubic feet. And don't miss their unbeatable offer on the 13 kg twin tub washers. And for the aspiring chef, the 30-inch 5-burner gas stove with a built-in rotisserie oven. These specials won't last. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram at 351-7777 or that's Genesco Appliances, and they're available nationwide.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
All right, so thank you so much, Avril, for our major news. Thanks so much, Unesco Appliances. Of course, you join AV again come next hour. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock. All right, traffic-wise, yeah, where you think you're going to get traffic, you will get traffic from Maraval, Diego Martin, East-West Corridor on the highway and main road. San Fernando, you're lighter than usual. Going from St. Margaret's Village to Clacton Bay, that's your heavy spot. Riverland Road and heading to Couva, at your heavy spot as well. Charlieville, towards the interchange, is where you're going to get traffic. All right? Right. Okay, let's see if we have any more votes on our morning poll. We got Slick Money Grip saying yes. Edwin Marshall saying no. Beauty Culture says yes. Trini B, yes. Right, that's what I got there. Let's see if we have any on WhatsApp. I got Peter saying no. I got Lorna. Morning, Lorna. Indy, Kali says yes. And that's it. Oh, I got Mr. Seawing saying yes as well. All right.
Richard. You back?
I'm muted, okay. The poll this morning was, do you think Rushton Parry's United Patriot plans to work with Michaela Pandey's Patriot Front for general election 2025 if they are unsuccessful in the UNC's internal election? We had 27 people voting on the poll this morning in the allotted time. Of the 27 people, 22 of you said yes. You do think there is the possibility of something like that happening. 5 of you said no, you don't think so. Of course, you can continue to vote this poll throughout the day through our programming, and we'll give you the final results tomorrow morning.
Steve, did you send the link to Michaela Pandey?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it depends on what happens. Even if they're unsuccessful, it depends on what happens when screening takes place.
So you think screening is the more important thing?
Yeah, screening is the more important thing. So even if they're unsuccessful, if they're successful, well, they're part of the NATEX, right? And they're part of the screening process. If they're unsuccessful and they are screened and successful to compete, to contest the seats that they presently hold, well, the ones who hold seats, that is, like Rushton Parry, Anita Haynes, and is it Rai Ragbeer?
I'm not so sure.
I think so, if I can be stand corrected. Then, and if they're successful, if they're successful in the screening process to contest the seats that they presently hold, well, they would stay and work with the UNC. But if they're unsuccessful, it means they're in the political wilderness, and anything is possible. You know. So it all depends on what happens at the screening juncture for general election 2025, and we'll see how it goes, because I think both Rushton Parry and Anita Haynes have been quite successful MPs in my view. You know.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see.
It'll be a matter of the constituents and the constituents who give them the power. Eh?
Yeah. Well,
ultimately,
in both major political parties, there have been successful MPs who were not put back up for the various reasons. Yeah. You understand?
But in some of them, it caused, if Wendell was here, in some of them, it caused, I think, the PNM to lose.
Absolutely.
You know, people were so disaffected.
I think Gypsy is one of them.
Yeah.
On the PNM side, you know? So, I mean, because I think Rushton is a very well-liked person in his constituency, and I think so too, Anita Haynes. And I think they both also liked nationally, you know? So they transcend the base of both of the party, you know? Yeah. So it'll be interesting if they're unsuccessful. If they're successful, as I said, they're in the NATEX. If they're unsuccessful, well, it'll be interesting to see if they are successful in screening, because they've both indicated, I think, to us when they spoke to us that they intend to offer themselves for consideration, and they have both filed nomination papers, if I'm not mistaken. so I can stand corrected. So we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, I see one of the newspapers reporting that Dr. Rowley's brother's funeral is on June 6th. Condolences again to him and his family on the loss of their family member.
Condolences.
Yeah. So while we are with Akila Pandey, we could open the phone lines and hear your
She
conversation.
says she has no electricity. She's trying to log on by phone.
Oh, okay.
So I'll give her a minute. If not, I'll call her.
Yep. They all had pretty successful launches. The UNC's star slate launched last night at a packed house with Mrs. Pasal Bissessa leading the charge, They also have a very powerful team of UNC stalwarts, you understand? So it's quite interesting, the timing of this internal situation with the UNC. But it also gives brand UNC some front page news coverage in terms of the internal election. Never a done it. Politics is always interesting in Trinidad and Tobago.
Isn't it? Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Gentlemen, I find it pretty strange. I'm not hearing Mr. Griffith, Mr. Alexander. I mean, Mr. Griffith was so out for Mr. Rowley till, I heard him even talk about the clothes he wear and all that kind of thing. Whatever happened to Mr. Griffith? Anybody know?
Well, I don't understand the question. In what context?
Yeah.
No, we're not hearing him. Normally, very verbal, and he tried to get into the UNC. But saw what happened. Alexander tried something like that. We saw what happened. Now we see Michaela Pandey. We see Mr. Parry. But you're not hearing these two for not Alexander so much. But Gary was very verbal. So I just want to try to find out whatever happened to him.
But Gary Griffith is on media almost every week.
Yeah.
On different media houses. If you don't want to hear Gary Griffith, it's because you don't want to hear him. But if you want to hear his opinions, he's quite available in terms of many media houses. I find it very strange. I find it very strange for you to say that Gary Griffith is quiet.
No, I'm not hearing him. I don't know if I'm missing something or whatever. I'm not hearing him at all. I'm not hearing him. I want to hear what he's saying. And this thing with Mr. Parry and Miss Michaela Pandey, that thing have a twofold approach. Now listen, what I think. If Mr. Parry should be successful with some seats, and Miss Michaela Pandey should be successful with some seats, would they team up together?
When you say seats, what do you mean by seats?
Yeah.
If they win some seats, some seats in the...
How is Mr. Parry winning seats?
No. Speaking about when they go, because remember they're looking to go for general election,
But Mr. Parry is not the leader of a political party. He's the leader of a slate in the UNC internal election. So I don't understand how he's looking for seats.
All right, probably are looking too far. But I'm watching the future with that, thinking that they coming together, because the UNC on the other end, what will happen if they would have gained some positions? If the both of them would team together and go to the UNC, how that will work? If it would work, because if the both of them go together, what is going to happen if they team with the UNC or if they want to team with the UNC? How that? I'm looking at the whole system, how it will work for general election, the election, the internal election that they have. I'm watching the whole scenario to see how that would take place. And I ain't seen that. I don't know. I don't see that at all. Maybe a little far fetched, but I'm looking at it from this election straight to general election. That's why I say seats. Because I know Mr. Thing is going to go for that. They're going to go to fight election. Yeah, Miss Michaela says she win at 41 seats. Mr. You go hear something, Mr. Parry in a while. So that's why I say that. Because if they look to join, if should they be successful and they look to join together, how will it fit with the UNC? Would they know as a team then go to join the UNC? What is going to happen with that whole scenario? That is my question.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen.
Take care. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I am very disappointed in Michaela Pandey and her strategy for wanting to become the prime minister of this country. It seems like she only threw her hat in the ring just before an election. You don't hear her on issues. You don't hear her for the whole year, 5 years. You don't hear about Michaela Pandey and issues, her opinion about stuff. You don't hear her, in anything. But
When you
just
say you don't hear her, you mean you don't hear her, or she's not heard generally? Because I hear her on many issues.
I can't say the same. Maybe you in your portfolio would hear her.
No, I have, as a member of the general public, hear her on several issues, not in any particular portfolio.
Okay, well, I may stand corrected. I don't, and let me speak for me then. I don't hear her, and I see she seems absent only when election time comes around. I hear her. I hear about her. I hear about her party. So it seems like all she wants is the power of prime ministership. She didn't care about the people and the issues that happen in Trinidad and Tobago. That's my opinion. Okay.
And you're entitled to it.
And I felt she has had a very good chance of being the political leader, the leader running this country. But because of her absenteeism, that I feel I can't support her and her party. All right?
Thank you.
But the election is quite next year. You can see a lot between now and then. I don't understand.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you make up your mind concerning a general election in 2024? But anyway, whatever.
Good morning, Michaela Pandey.
Fought in peace.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, my friends. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Thank you for joining us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. So sorry. I had no electricity and I didn't have StreamYard on my phone. And so sorry for being late. Never like being late.
Glad that you could join us, though.
Extra time. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Michaela Pandey.
Thank you.
So you're staying without the camera this morning?
Yes, if that's okay.
That's all right. First of all, congratulations on the, should I call it a relaunch?
It's probably an election campaign rollout.
Congratulations on your election campaign rollout. You held on Sunday, where you identified that as at yesterday, Monday,
yes,
you were contesting all 41 seats. Would you like to hear a poll this morning?
I'm nervous, but I'll go for it.
We did two polls because we had a poll yesterday.
Yeah.
The poll yesterday, Michaela, was whether people felt that the Patriotic Front could win any seats in general election 2025.
Okay.
And certainly during the show, because we have two polls. You can poll during the allotted time during the show, and then people can vote throughout the day. But during the show, the majority of people said yes, they felt that you could win, some seats.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, so the majority did say yes. Today's poll was, do you think Rushton Parry's United Patriots plans to work with Michaela Pandey's Patriotic Front for general election 2025 if they are unsuccessful in the UNC's internal election? And again, the majority of people said yes. We had 27 people voting in the allotted time, and 22 people said yes, and 5 people said no.
Right.
So I don't know if you'd care to weigh in on it. Is there some sort of interconnect between the United Patriots and the Patriotic Front?
No, there isn't actually. Sorry. There isn't. I don't think it's my place to get involved in any other party's internal business. So there isn't. I did think about how yeah, the name was quite interesting that they chose, and they also chose the praying hands, which was my father's symbol when he contested the internal election. But no, there hasn't been. I mean, look, they're not a member of the party, and as I said, everybody's entitled to join. But no, nothing's happening. Um, they haven't reached out to me, and they're doing their thing.
So if the tides turn and they do, will you welcome them?
If you assume that they lose the internal or if they
Yeah.
win.
If however the tides turn, whether they lose, they win, if they come and say, Makila Pandey, I think I want to join your party, would you welcome them?
I would. I would.
Yeah.
I mean, they're entitled to join as everybody else is entitled to join. What would they want in what capacity? I mean, that would be interesting, and I would speak to everybody, listen to everybody really who's willing to talk. But I think they're doing their thing, and I have no conversations with them.
Which leads me kind of logically to the next question of the UNC. Of course, you were once part of the UNC.
Yes.
So that if it is, the UNC has made a call for other parties to form alliances with them, that they will open to other parties aligning with them in general elections 2025.
Yeah.
Are you at all interested in aligning yourself with the UNC in 2025, or are you going it alone? Are you going it alone?
I can tell you, and I'll say it again. We're willing to speak with everybody, but I can tell you that the UNC is not willing to speak with me. And I think that's sort of open knowledge by now. Mrs. Prasad Bisasa has made that quite clear through many people who have approached me, and I've continuously said I'm willing to speak. I reached out to her in every way and form, and also through Dr. Kirk Megu. I sent her an invitation to be on my podcast. I've tried everything, written letters, dropped it in her mailbox. And this is way before anything happened, trying with the party or contesting. People have asked me, would I help the UNC? I've always said that I would help the UNC. But Mrs. Prasad Bisasa has said, and I will say it because it's the truth, that she doesn't need any Pandey to win the election. I was asked for the 2020 election, would I help, because they didn't feel they were going to win, and I volunteered my help then. My father has volunteered his help while he was here. He went to her house in 2011 to people wanted to meet and asked him would he meet. No one in my house knew that he was even going. So yeah, we've done that, been there, bought the t-shirts, and it's been made very clear that the UNC wants no alliance with anybody with the surname Pandey, and that's okay. It's okay because that's the political leader's choice, and leaders make decisions that they feel, I guess, it's in the best of themselves or the party or whatever it may be. And that's where that is. But to keep on going over the same thing, we're not making any kind of progress. So it's just a matter about moving forward and doing what's best for the country as opposed to self.
Now, you launched your political campaign for 2025 in this on Sunday. Just before you came on, a caller articulated a point of view that, well, he doesn't hear Makila Pandey unless an election is coming up, and Makila Pandey, and I'm paraphrasing here, has not been vocal on many issues, etc., etc. How do you respond to a statement like that?
Well, I mean, when you're not in the parliament, it's very difficult from the outside, and it's also very difficult to get coverage. But I always respond. I'm always out there. I'm always speaking. If you got his name, I'd be able to to reach out to him. I'm constantly working. I've always been working on the ground. Sometimes if it doesn't happen on social media, people believe that it's not happening or it's not true. But I know what I'm doing, and you have detractors. It is what it is, and people are entitled to their opinions. But I continuously do my work, and I've been doing so for the longest period of time, and I'll continue to do so. Maybe the media will give me a little more attention. You'll invite me again, and but otherwise, you just got to do your duty. In Hinduism, we call it dharma. You do your duty, and there'll always be people who are not happy with what you're doing, and there are people who think you should do it another way, and people are entitled to their opinions. But
So how then do you respond to suggestions by some that Makila's strength comes from her father's name? And there's nothing wrong with that, because your father was a very, very prominent figure in this country in many different spheres.
Sure.
Rest his soul. But you haven't done your work on your own.
We say that's the thing. That's what a lot of people don't know anything about me. And perhaps I must take blame for that as well, because I needed to showcase myself a little bit more. And then the flip side to that coin is when you do that, they don't want to hear that either. Look, I don't live in my dad's shadow. I've always said this. I live in my dad's light. I am I walk in his light. I'm so proud to be his daughter, and he has done great things, and I too will do that. And it remains to be seen how people will judge me as with anybody else.
The Patriotic Front, of course, you launched, and you said you're going to contest the 41 seats, which, of course, would have raised some eyebrows, because the UNC doesn't contest the 2 seats in Tobago, but they have not traditionally done so.
Yeah.
So I suppose saying that you're going for all 41 was, a little eye-opening in that sense. But it's a crowded field, or it's getting to be even more crowded a field in terms of third parties. What you think makes you stand out and your party stand out, Patriotic Front, in terms of this field of third parties vying for a space in general election 2025? Because a party embeds itself in the electorate in terms of what their philosophy is,
Sure.
what they stand for, etc., etc. And I know you will still have to roll that out in terms of what brand Patriotic Front is.
Sure.
But if I am an independent voter and I'm listening to you this morning, why should I be interested in the Patriotic Front? If you can give me an elevator pitch of
Sure.
why
Well,
I should.
let me just answer, because there were a couple of statements there, so I just noted them. Number one, you fight 41 seats because you're a national party. If you don't believe that you can win, why should somebody else believe that you should win? I don't call the Patriotic Front a third party, because when you do that, you've called my place in the race already. Also, you say that it's crowded, but I don't know that there are many viable options, and that's the key word that I think people look for. Are there viable options out there? I will tell you one thing about the Patriotic Front, and beyond policy, which we'll be rolling out. The main thing about us is that we do not practice divisive politics in any way or form, and that's what historically people have done. When my father had won the election, it was by uniting people, not necessarily parties. And the United National Congress, under his leadership, looked and reflected Trinidad and Tobago and its diversity. I would describe us obviously as a humanitarian party, interested in the welfare of the many and not the few. And what makes us different is that we're people centric, or what would you call it, citizen centric. So we intend to make people involved, or allow people to be part of the decision-making process through participation and engagement and transparency and accountability, and to be a responsive government, not a reactive government, and empowering citizens, really. You see, there is a huge divide, well, not even so a divide, but a gap between government and the people. And as soon as you win, you forget that the people who put you there existed. And we intend to not do that. to be proactive and not reactive. Nothing functions in Trinidad until we wait until it stops working, until the road is completely destroyed before we fix it, that kind of thing. So, but the most important thing is that I want us to be known, like I say, as a humanitarian party, a party that puts people first.
Now, what you're saying, everyone cannot, but they can't disagree with it. On paper, it sounds good, but in our political construct in Trinidad and Tobago, we have two political behemoths. We have the People's National Movement and the United National Congress, who have been the major political forces for decades in this country and have been able to identify base constituencies that have primarily gone to them. There are about, depending on which political analyst you listen to, there are 6 or 7 swing seats that have PNM and UNC supporters, but have supporters who are independent thinkers who will decide on the issues primarily. How to win a seat in this country in our political construct is very, very difficult. And when you sound very idealistic, you sound like you're saying the right things, but on the ground, we know it's a completely different thing. When the election machineries of both the PNM and the UNC kick in, how do you plan to come up against that? Because it takes funding, it takes ground troops, it takes mobilization, it takes party groups, it takes a whole set of machinery to be able to unseat those two significant behemoths. And as Richard said, there are now these other parties who are also in the fray.
Well, first of all, I think that this concept, well, let's begin. There are two political parties. Their supports, for example, if we look at, and while you say it's idealistic, let me make it very, very clear that we use our EBC statistics, which say something completely different. So on the ground, as you put it, is one thing is how people say they feel or who may be more vocal. Let's look at, for example, at the last local government election. Because people were extremely frustrated. The voter turnout was 30.3%, which is the lowest since 1983, I believe. Both the PNM and the UNC, because we have 14 corporations. So both the PNM and the UNC 117, and they made they pushed the narrative basically that 50% of this country supported one party and 50% supported the other. And what it really was 15% supported both. In fact, both party of their hardcore base, because that is who comes out to vote for local elections, lost around 20,000 voters. There are a lot of people in this country who are very, very fed up. We also talk about marginal seats, and I'm always amazed by these so-called political analysts who we know support one party or the other and therefore speak on their behalf. Safe seats. What is a safe seat? What is a safe seat when, for example, even in the prime minister's seat, more people did not vote than voted? In Stuart Young's seat, for example, more people did not vote than voted. The entire Port of Spain area, if you have a chance to have a look at the statistics, which we have been analyzing since 2007, we don't just make a crazy idea and say, oh, well, you know what, we're going to contest the general election. It's going to be easy. But at the end of the day, the PNM and the UNC, going back to exactly what you've said, they're two juggernauts. They neither has any interest in campaign finance reform, and we know why. So when you say the UNC has a safe seat, I think that is partly true. It is a safe seat against the PNM. And when you say the PNM has a safe seat, it's a safe seat against the UNC. I don't think it's a safe seat against the Patriotic Front, and therefore some PNM supporters will never vote for the UNC, as some UNC supporters will never vote for the PNM. I don't think that we fall in that bracket. Again, yes, third parties can be formed. Not because it doesn't happen on social media means it wasn't happening on the ground. And yes, you have to have election day machinery. We would never be able to compete in terms of financing and giving away money and T-shirts and cell phones and giving people makeshift jobs and things like that. But we're confident enough. The election is in a year. We have been working, and election day means, can you get people from the polls to the voting booth? And we're going to have to give it our best shot. But enough people in this country, and I'm not just talking about the youth, and I'm not just talking about the undecided voters. I'm talking about PNM and UNC supporters themselves are very, very, very unhappy with the current status quo.
So what you're saying is you're going after trying to convince the core voters, but also primarily you're trying to go against people who have not been attracted by either of the two main parties.
I am trying to convince Trinidad and Tobago. I don't want my party's base must be the country. And if that sounds idealistic, well, let's do it. People in this country will realize that race politics does not work. It is the only thing that the only trick that they have, both parties have left, to instill fear. If one come in, this go happen to we, and if the next one come in, this go happen, and this, and to an extent, they're probably right. I don't know. But this is not the narrative, and this is not what we are going to practice. People are going to understand that this country has enough for everybody, that this country has enough resources where we all can benefit. And as the campaign rolls out, people will see that, and they won't see it because, oh, I feel this way. We are going to show people statistically and through facts that what has been happening, and this practice of dividing people to rule them, to conquer them, will stop and has to stop.
I have to leave in a short while. I apologize for an appointment, but I have a final question before I leave. Richard asked about the UNC before, and you said, Mrs. Pasabi, there have been several overtures on your part to meet with Mrs. Pasabi Sessa, which have been unsuccessful. Has anyone from the PNM ever reached out to you to join or work with the PNM?
Yes.
How recently?
2 months ago.
Months ago, to somebody high up or somebody midstream?
Oh, come on, listen.
Well, I have to ask.
I'll give you 100 points for trying.
So is it a high-ranking official approach? Because you just confirmed that the PNM has approached you to work with them. Is it somebody who you would say you would consider it?
I have my own party. I am not a PNM. I don't know this narrative.
I never said you're a PNM. I asked if someone from the PNM approached you.
I see that being bandied about. Listen, the party I have is called the Patriotic Front. We are fighting 41 seats and we're going to win. The end.
That is a very politically astute reverse out of the street move there, Makina. I appreciate that. I have to leave. Apologies, I have to leave, but thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Michaela, the issue of because you have so many, and you're right, there's so many voters that are jaded. They're jaded by the politics of Trinidad and Tobago, and so there's a lot of noise that you have to wade through to get your message heard. And not only to get your message heard, but for your message to resonate with a certain degree of authenticity, that people believe you, that people believe that you are different. How are you going to navigate that part of it? How are you going to convince people that you are different and that you are authentic?
By telling the truth. I think that's the way. And what is going to happen? You realize let's step out of this for a second and just look from the outside in. All you hear is negative campaigning. That's all you hear. Doesn't matter who it is. That's all you hear. Negative campaigning, cussing each other, and who teeth more than the other, and whose mother is this, and whose father is this, and who wife doing this, and I don't think it's going to be that hard, because once you speak on the issues and you address the issues in a real way, that you have a connect with people and people understand that you understand what they're going through, I think they'll listen. The mainstream media may not, because they love Bacchanal and the commerce and whether Rushton is doing this and Kamala is doing this, and that's more interesting. But when people can't put food on their table, when they don't have work, when they don't feel safe, when there's no hospital bed, they will listen to say, well, listen, I wonder what this girl is saying. I wonder if we should give it a shot. And when they listen and you start to speak their language, which is how are we going to get ourselves out of this abyss that we have found ourselves in. When you start talking about solutions, it is my belief, listen. But I'll also say to you, if people don't want you, that too is okay. I have to try, they may turn around and say that they're happy with the way things are going. They may turn around and say, well, they're not ready for change. And that too is okay. I can only answer to myself. And once I say that I have tried and I tried my best, that's the best I can do.
Is it that the Patriotic Front, I don't know if you have the kind of data and if you want to share it, but is it that you have a membership role at this point? Do you have, the Patriotic Front has 1,000 members. Do you have any kind of quantification in terms of your support at this point?
After yesterday, when we actually nearly broke the internet because I I launched the nominations, and it literally the traffic that was just before signing up crashed my website. So I'll find out today a bit more what actually happened, because there were people not just putting up nominations, there were people who were joining, volunteered, there were people who were becoming members. So I don't have a number at this time.
Okay. And in terms of your rollout of your party, is it that you're planning to roll out community by community? Do you have a plan of how you're going
We have
to?
a plan, and you'll see it soon. We have a plan.
You're keeping that under wraps.
Yes, for now. I can't tell you everything. It's like we're on a first date.
Are you ready to take some calls from our listeners?
Of course. How can you? Those are the important people who vote, so of course.
Yeah, all right. So we can open up our lines. 8255 North Americans, 866-525-1099. That's our numbers directly into our studio. Give us a call right now. Of course, we're chatting with political leader of the Patriotic Front, Michaela Panday.
Yeah, so 222-TALK, 222-8255, North Americans, 866-525-1099. And of course, our callers generally, our callers and listeners know to be respectful, Michaela, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to put my foot in my mouth by saying that.
And next thing they call me and just
that's an anomaly, in terms of people asking questions. But we do have a lot of people, I think, who will have questions or will want to be interactive with the conversation.
Yeah. Well, we do have some calls coming through. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Miss Panday, Michaela Panday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
The winds of change are blowing throughout Trinidad and Tobago. I think the people are looking for new faces, fresh faces with new ideas. Okay, and that's important. As you rightly say, people have to get away from this whole race-based voting every 5 years when the people are actually not involved. After they vote, they are actually not involved in the whole process of running the country, demanding change and so on. And it's sad. But the people are looking for new faces and so on. As you say, once you stay true to yourself and you tell the people like it is in terms of the issues, then again, you should get the votes of the people. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. So you see, people are seeing it. They're seeing it. They're going to know that race and tribal voting does not work for people. Otherwise, in 2024, come 2025, people will have a regular supply of water, people will have electricity, that they would have solved the traffic problem, that food would be affordable, that as a country we would have been able by now to feed ourselves, that our food import bill would not be $5.67 billion a year, that we would have had jobs for the young people when they come out of university, that we would have diversified our economy in every way, that we would have been manufacturing things. You see what my dear sister said earlier on? People are thinking. You can't fool people all the time. They're looking around and saying to themselves, look at how much our country has. The resources of our country belongs to the people. The people, when you win government to manage the resources of the people for very short period of time. It does not belong to you. You cannot come and shut down industries when you feel you want to shut it down. You cannot. We're imposing more and more tax on the people of Trinidad and Tobago because that is the only source of revenue. People looking for a little bit of foreign exchange, they can't get it. You're getting 200 US from the bank if you're going away. What happens to these small people who want to I'm not just saying visit your family, but they want to import something to sell, to make a living? Yet you look at these huge companies overflowing. Don't you feel, with foreign exchange and the like, don't you think people will get up one day and say, is this what we deserve? Do we deserve this? And I think people will wake up. I pray that they do, but it'll be their choice in the end.
Yeah. See, we have any calls?
Not right now. So 222. We just have a couple of minutes again.
222-8255. Michaela, something I don't know if you well, I suppose you must watch news at certain points, but nothing aggravates me more, and I've spoken about it on this Power Breakfast show many times, than when I see families on the news living in ridiculous and horrible conditions. It aggravates me that a country that has had so much money post 1962 still have people living in all manner of squalor and poverty. That aggravates me no end. And up to last night on one of the news channels, there was a lady with her daughter who has Down syndrome. And the father, and they're living in, I don't even know what it is. Is it like a yard, Steve? I don't know if you saw the story.
I saw it, and it broke my heart dearly.
And I'm like,
they're living in a place where at any minute they can be told to leave.
Yes.
And additionally, I think it was like 2 weeks ago where a mother and son were living in a house that was about to fall down, and we have to keep asking.
Annoys me.
We have to keep asking for help. They ask the population for help, and same as Richard, that one broke my heart as well.
Yeah.
There must be something in place where people do not have to live in this dire need.
Well, let me begin. This is something so close to my heart, and we do so much charitable work through the Organization for Socio-Economic Development and the Basti Pandey Foundation. And I have to begin by telling you, I believe suffering people is something that is done by design so that your hands will always be out. In terms of housing, this is so important. When people support parties blindly, I wonder if they ever ask themselves, what is my party's policy on housing? Can you answer what the PNM party's policy is on housing, or the UNC? We have in Trinidad and Tobago what you call a lottery system for housing, right? If you guys and me, if we went and played the lottery every single day, national lottery for our lives, we may never win, right? We probably will not. That means under this lottery system where people are allocated housing based on the lottery system, it means that there are people who will never get a house. Yet, if you go through the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago, as I have done, from Aruca to right up the road by me, there are abandoned houses, HDC houses, all over the place. Trees growing inside, vine all over the place, just left abandoned. Housing in this country is dangled like a political carrot for votes. So it is given out when you need to gerrymander or when you need to fool people for vote. That is when it is given out. Why don't we have a needs-based system? There are people who will be listening to this show now who will tell you 20 years ago I applied for this house. You will see also, guys, you know when someone's house burned down on the line in Marabella here, 4 houses burnt down. 4 houses burnt down. And we went down and immediately, you know, what are people going to need? They're going to need some clothing. They will be on the street basically. There's nowhere to go. Obviously, you try to find if you could go buy some family and things. So you've lost every single thing that you own, everything from your clothes, the clothes on your back. And I saw the minister for local government and also the MP for the area. He turned up and okay, that's all well and good. It's an election year. All right, all that's well and good. Where are you going to put the people? The most we could do is find something as quickly as we can, make sure they have something to eat, make sure that the kids got some clothes, they're disrupted from school, all kinds of things. You're telling me we have nowhere in Trinidad and Tobago, no kind of decent shelter, nothing? Why do people in this country have to live without dignity? Why? Why do you have to always be begging? Because it belongs to the powers that be? No, it does not. No, it does not. Why do people have to live in squalor? Why? And this is so many people throughout this country. My friends, what you see is on the news. It is happening all over Trinidad and Tobago. All over Trinidad and Tobago. And it will continue to happen because it is done by design. I work with a lot of people in HDC developments, right? Trying to help because I'm talking throughout the country, you will find the same problem. You have an HDC development, you put people to live there. It does not conform to safety standards. There are no fire escapes. You have the lifts, the elevators stop working. We're trying to help nearby me here in San Fernando. A 90-year-old lady is unable to come down because the elevator is not working. She's a prisoner in her own home. They have the tanks. You see the amount of buildings and the apartments that you have, but yet there is no pump. They don't get water, so it goes up to the 4th floor. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gets nothing. There's a woman there with children, elderly. There's a disabled lady. And you know, she found her way to my launch on Saturday. I don't know how she did it, but she found her way there. So you see, sometimes again, people say you don't work, you don't do this, you don't do that, we don't see you, we don't hear you. The people who we see know what's happening. But I'm telling you, everything in Trinidad and Tobago seems to be done by design to suffer people. Everything must be difficult. To renew your driver's license must be difficult. To inspect your car must be difficult. You earn a little bit of money, you buy a foreign use. Every week you have to fix it because the road mashing it up. Yet we have the largest deposit of asphalt in the world. We don't have to go and buy pitch from anybody. We have it.
Yeah, but containers leave Labray to be shipped out every day. We do have every day. We have a call, Michaela. Let's grab this call. They've been holding for a while. Good morning.
I'm sorry.
Good morning, Michaela Pandey on the panel. I wish you Godspeed and success. I would love to see you in government as a leader. Your ideas are very good, and you have a passion for the people. I know if you were somebody very point of view, refinery is concerned, you'd have been listening to the people and hearing the cries of the people, and you'd get handled differently, not shutting it down, right? I like to wish you all the best, and you need to put a candidate in mover also. Thank you.
41, my friend, 41. We'll be there. We'll be there. Thank you
Any
so
closing
much.
words, Michaela, as we are about to wrap up now?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, let me thank everybody for listening. Thank you for inviting me. Sorry for being late. I respect your time and I didn't mean to be rude in any way. I just ask people to please look past tribal politics. Look past tribal politics. Understand that you, Trinbagonians, deserve better. That Trinidad has enough for everybody. That everybody could live with dignity. That we could make our country the paradise that it is meant to be. And I'm not asking yet for you to vote for me, but at least give me a listening ear. That's the most for I can ask for now, and I do so humbly.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much
for joining us this morning on the Power Breakfast Show. We appreciate
Thank
you
you,
taking
sir.
the time.
Thank you very much for everything.
All right.
Thank you.
All the best to you.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right, so this is where we wrap up the Power Breakfast Show this morning. Of course, it is Tuesday, but it's a short week. So today is like
Tuesday, Richard.
Today's
So the
like
weekend
Tuesday.
begins tonight.
So the weekend begins from midnight tonight. After midnight tonight, the weekend will begin. Of course, theater is on next week, Saturday, June 8th at Tobago, Shore Park Cultural Complex in Tobago. Tickets are available at the Shore Park Complex in Tobago and Beverly's Oasis Suites in Lowlands. They also have tickets. Marcelin's Auto Rentals in Crown Point, they also have tickets. That's 3 of the outlets I know off the top of my head. So have a fantastic day. Whatever you do, Tobago, we come in with love is our walk. Have a fantastic day. Check our SRR Productions theater page on social media for more information. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health.
All right, Richie Rich, thank you so much. All the best to you. Talk to you bright and early come tomorrow morning. Of course, Wendell will join us on the Wednesday edition of the Power Breakfast Show. Just to let you know that the pet bottle will be open this weekend, Thursday and Friday. Just letting you know that. Elscore Road in San Juan. All right, let's get into our 8 o'clock news brief.